My name is Olivia Hart. I'm 29. And if someone had told me a month ago that my life could implode so spectacularly in a single morning, I would have laughed. Nervously, maybe. Life had felt steady, normal, the kind of ordinary happiness I'd worked so hard to build. And then Daniel Thompson, 33, my boyfriend of 3.5 years, shattered it. Yesterday morning, I sent him the text I never imagined I would. Daniel, I can't do this anymore. You keep ignoring my boundaries. We're not ready for marriage, and you've been steamrolling our lives with plans I never agreed to. I'm moving out by Sunday. I'll cover my share of the rent, but that's it. I hit send, and my chest felt tight as though I'd just exhaled all the air from the world. I thought that would be it. By noon, I realized I had been catastrophically wrong. Scrolling absent-mindedly through my phone during lunch, I saw it. Daniel's Instagram post. There she was, a flawless brunette in a white dress, holding a glass of champagne, surrounded by friends. The caption, "Yes to the dress. Can't wait to marry my soulmate in June 2025. I stared, heart thudding. My mind screamed, we're broken up. We're not engaged. This is insane. The delusion was off the charts. I should back up. Daniel and I met at a friend's backyard barbecue. He was charming, steady, grounded, the kind of man who made you believe in normal, reliable love. The first year was effortless. We traveled, laughed, planned a future we both seemed to want, or so I thought. Around year 2, subtle cracks appeared. Every casual comment I made about the future was met with Daniel's growing pressure about marriage. And me? I said, let's wait until we're financially stable. I work in marketing. Daniel's a contractor with dreams of starting his own firm. Not rich, but careful. He didn't argue, not exactly, but the look on his face, calm, calculating, started to unsettle me. 6 months ago, I noticed signs, Pinterest boards, venue research, even bridal dress shopping with his friends. We weren't engaged. I told him explicitly, Daniel, I'm not ready, maybe in a couple of years. He smiled, almost too sweetly. Oh, I'm just browsing for fun. Every girl dreams of this. Red flag after red flag, but I told myself he was just excited. Then last month, I discovered he'd secretly made deposits on 3 venues, using my credit card while I slept. $500 each. I confronted him. He cried, said he just wanted to lock in good prices for when we're ready. I should have ended it then, but I let him promise he'd cancel everything. Spoiler, he didn't. And Tuesday was surreal. I came home from work to find wedding magazines scattered across our apartment, Daniel's laptop open to a seating chart with both our families' names, and a men's wedding band on the nightstand with a little red heart. I slept on the couch. And Wednesday morning, at 7:23 a.m., I did what I'd been dreading. I ended it. The breakup text. Daniel read it. He didn't respond. By lunch, my phone erupted, notifications exploding like fireworks. I checked Instagram. Daniel, in a bridal shop with a dress and champagne, announcing our engagement. I couldn't breathe. I did the only rational thing I could think of. I commented on his post, calm but firm. Wrong tag, we're not engaged. Then I sat back, stunned, popcorn in hand, watching chaos unfold. Within minutes, Daniel called 23 times. His texts flew in like missiles. Take that down, you're humiliating me. It was a joke. I didn't answer. The comment section erupted. Half of his friends were deleting their congratulations, half attacking me for airing dirty laundry. Highlights. His best friend, wow, Olivia, real mature. His cousin, maybe he shouldn't have lied about being engaged then. Random coworker, this is abusive, publicly humiliating him. But the best part? Screenshots of Daniel's past behavior surfaced. Apparently, he'd been telling mutual friends we were planning our future wedding for weeks. The red flags were everywhere, and now they were public. By evening, I felt the first pangs of exhaustion, confusion, anger, the surreal absurdity of watching a breakup turn into social media theater. And somewhere, lurking beneath all this, was a quiet, terrifying suspicion. This might not even be his first time acting like this. Foreshadowing whispered in the corners of my mind. This is only the beginning. Whatever chaos Daniel can conjure, it's going to get worse. By Wednesday afternoon, my phone had become a ticking time bomb. Notifications poured in like an unstoppable flood. Messages, comments, DMs from strangers who'd seen Daniel's engagement post, and friends I hadn't talked to in months, all chiming in, half supportive, half critical. Some were simple questions. Wait, when did this happen? Why didn't you tell me you proposed? Others were accusatory, biting, judgmental. Olivia publicly humiliating him? Classic. Bro, really? It felt like the world had tilted on its axis, and I was the only one standing upright, screaming, trying to tell everyone the truth. I stared at the screen. My chest tightened. I wanted to disappear. But then, beneath the flood of comments, I saw something that froze me even more. Screenshots from other friends. Other times, Daniel had done this. Manipulative posts, casual fibs about engagement rumors, little lies that painted a picture of a reality that never existed. And suddenly, everything clicked. The calculated, charming smiles, the way he'd pressure me subtly about marriage. The Pinterest boards he'd pretended were just fun. This wasn't just enthusiasm, it was manipulation. I thought back to the moments when I had brushed off the red flags, the subtle feeling in my gut that something was off. My disbelief morphed into dread. Half an hour later, Daniel's ex-girlfriend Rachel entered the stage, not physically, but virtually. Screenshots surfaced, private conversations she had orchestrated, guiding him, feeding him advice, teaching him how to manipulate social situations, how to create drama without consequence. The pieces fit together now. Rachel's involvement wasn't obvious at first, but the pattern emerged. Daniel wasn't entirely acting alone. He had a history of obsession and performance, a penchant for creating reality that suited him, with Rachel as the mastermind behind some of it. I felt a strange mix of emotions: disbelief, anger, and, beneath it all, fear. If this is how far he could go now, what had Rachel taught him before? My best friend called, her voice a lifeline. "Olivia, breathe. We'll figure this out. You're not crazy." But the public didn't see nuance. The comment section was a battlefield. Half his friends deleting congratulations, half attacking me for airing dirty laundry. One coworker wrote, "Abusive behavior, public humiliation, classic." I laughed bitterly. They don't even know the half of it. Then came the DMs. Random strangers, people who had never met me, offering sympathy, asking if I was okay, warning me that Daniel's past was complicated. Some of them had been burned too, caught in similar cycles of manipulation. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just about a breakup or a social media faux pas. This was pattern behavior, repeated, calculated, and deeply disturbing. That night, I sat on my couch, scrolling through screenshots Daniel had left behind, messages from ex-girlfriends, receipts for wedding deposits made in my name, posts that hadn't aged a day, each one a testament to deception, each one another brick in the wall of this nightmare. I thought about confronting him directly, but the fear was real. If he could do this once, what could he escalate to next? And Rachel, her influence was undeniable. She had the experience of crafting these dramatic illusions and the audacity to keep going. The emotional tension was crushing. My home, my phone, my life, it all felt like a stage for their performance. Every ding of a notification was a hammer against my chest. But somewhere beneath the panic, I found clarity. I wasn't going to be a silent victim. If they wanted a show, I'd give the world the truth. Every message, every receipt, every deceit laid bare. And I knew, deep down, that when the next act began, it wouldn't just be social media drama anymore. Rachel's manipulations were escalating, and I had to be ready for whatever came next. I sat back, hands trembling, and whispered to myself, "This isn't over, not by a long shot." Thursday morning arrived like a storm. I woke to find Daniel had doubled down. Another Instagram post, this time a long, tearful video. He claimed I had overreacted, misinterpreted his intentions, and that he had been manifesting our future together. His voice cracked on camera. "Olivia and I have been together for almost 4 years. I thought we were on the same page. I guess some people just can't handle a partner who knows what they want." My stomach twisted. Men are trash? Queen dodged a bullet? The comment section was exploding. Friends, strangers, even colleagues weighed in with their judgments, none of them understanding the full story. And then came the kicker, Rachel. She had been quietly orchestrating this from behind the scenes. Screenshots and messages leaked by mutual friends revealed her history. Daniel's ex wasn't new to these antics. Apparently she had done this to previous partners, weaving tales of engagement, planning weddings they hadn't agreed to, and publicly humiliating them when they resisted. I couldn't believe it. Pattern behavior, carefully rehearsed. And suddenly the chaos surrounding Daniel made sense. He wasn't just caught up in obsession. He had been trained, manipulated even, by Rachel's precedent. By noon, reality hit another level. I was at work when Rachel showed up. Not online this time, in person, wearing a full wedding dress. She parked herself near the break area as if she belonged, tears streaming down her face, voice pleading. "Olivia, stop ruining our love story. I just want him back. I need him to see how much we're meant to be." The construction site crew froze. My boss, Tony, stepped forward, his face a mixture of disbelief and authority. "Ma'am, this is a workplace. You need to leave." "I won't leave until Daniel apologizes and takes me back," Rachel shouted. "We're meant to be." It was surreal, like a scene ripped from a movie, but with consequences that were terrifyingly real. The guys at work spent the next hour roasting the situation, but inside me, panic simmered. Rachel wasn't just dramatic. She was dangerous in her obsession, willing to escalate to public displays, threats, and emotional chaos. I realized then, if Daniel had any residual sense of normalcy, it had been erased. Rachel had trained him to accept, or even participate in, this fantasy of engagement and control, and now I was caught in the middle. I left work that day feeling like I was walking through a minefield. Every message, every notification, every stranger's opinion added weight to the pressure pressing down on me. But beneath the panic was determination. I couldn't let this go unchecked. I had to gather evidence, document everything, and expose the truth. Not just for me, but for anyone else who might fall victim to Rachel's manipulations. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, laptop open, fingers trembling over the keyboard. Receipts for unauthorized wedding deposits, screenshots of social media posts, private messages, all lined up like a dam about to break. And in the back of my mind, a chilling thought. If Rachel could do this once, how far would she go next? This was no longer just about a breakup. It was about survival, truth, and reclaiming my reality from someone who thrived on rewriting it for their own drama. I whispered to myself, "Olivia, you have to be smarter than them. You have to protect yourself." Because Rachel wasn't done. By Friday morning, the chaos had reached a level I could never have imagined. I discovered that Daniel, or rather the shadow of obsession Rachel had left on him, had been fabricating our lives for weeks. Wedding deposits, bridal magazines, seating charts, even a registry filled with gifts that strangers had bought online, totaling thousands of dollars, all purchased with my name or credit card, without my consent. I sat in stunned disbelief, my chest tightened, heart racing. Every lie, every manipulation, every public humiliation I had endured until now paled in comparison. This wasn't just social media drama anymore. It was financial fraud, public deception, and emotional terrorism rolled into one. Rachel's fingerprints were everywhere. She had meticulously orchestrated every post, every detail, and even given instructions to Daniel on how to maintain appearances. Screenshots from past ex-boyfriends revealed the pattern. Fabricate a future, humiliate the partner, then play the victim when they resist. It was a performance perfected over years. I realized that to stop this, I needed to go nuclear. Evidence had to be collected, chronologically, with receipts, screenshots, and messages. I couldn't rely on anyone else's judgment or mercy. By midday, I had a folder of damning proof. Every text where I expressed my boundaries about engagement and marriage. Screenshots of Daniel admitting, in private messages, that he had been participating in this staged fantasy under Rachel's guidance. Bank statements showing Rachel, or Daniel using my card at her instruction, had spent over $15,000 on venues, dresses, and fake registrations. Reddit posts and social media evidence from previous ex-boyfriends who had suffered similar humiliations. The sense of betrayal was suffocating. I felt the weight of manipulation, humiliation, and disbelief pressing down like a physical force, but underneath it all was a flicker of clarity. I could reclaim control. I crafted a plan. If Rachel wanted a public spectacle, she would get one, but this time, it would be the truth. That evening, I posted a comprehensive video online. Calm, factual, unflinching. Step by step, I presented the evidence. Texts, receipts, dates, and financial statements. I included a legal recording Daniel had made admitting he had been aware that everything was being orchestrated by Rachel to force a narrative of engagement. The reaction was immediate. Comments flooded in. People were shocked, horrified, vindicated, and angry. 3 other ex-boyfriends reached out almost immediately, confirming the exact same patterns. engagement lies, fake weddings, public humiliation, and victim blaming. The comments section, once a battlefield of confusion, turned into a chorus of outrage. This woman needs therapy. How is this allowed? Run. Just run. Rachel, of course, retaliated. She posted tearful videos claiming financial abuse, accusing me of leaving her in debt for our fake wedding. She tried to twist the narrative, but I had documented everything. There was no ambiguity. I began to feel a mixture of vindication and exhaustion. This was draining, terrifying work, but it was necessary. The nightmare Rachel had created needed to end. Late that night, I reviewed everything again, folder by folder. Each receipt, each screenshot, each evidence point told a story, not just of a manipulative ex, but of the danger of letting obsession run unchecked. I whispered to myself, "This ends now. No more lies, no more public humiliation, no more fear." Because for the first time since this began, I felt a spark of control. And yet, somewhere deep down, a warning remained. Rachel was not done. Not yet. 2 weeks had passed since I sent that breakup text. The storm of chaos Rachel had conjured finally began to settle, but the aftermath was nothing short of surreal. Rachel was now in outpatient therapy, facing fraud charges for using my credit card to book venues, buy dresses, and create fake wedding registries. Her parents had restricted her internet access and required her to live with them. For the first time, there was a sense that the manipulative force driving this nightmare was being contained. Her past ex-boyfriends, 3 of them, had come forward, corroborating my evidence. They confirmed a disturbing pattern: fake engagements, public humiliation, and obsessive behavior repeated over years. The comments section, once a battlefield of confusion, became a space of support and outrage. Legally, I was protected. I had a 2-year restraining order in place, preventing any further intrusion into my life. The venues Rachel had booked without permission pursued fraud claims, and I had provided all documentation proving I was not a willing participant. The financial burden she tried to impose was nullified. Emotionally, I was exhausted, but also relieved. Therapy became my anchor. Slowly, I began processing the betrayal, humiliation, and fear that had consumed me. I reflected on how far I had come in just a few weeks, from panic and helplessness to clarity and empowerment. Family and friends rallied around me. My brother offered support and even suggested I document the experience. "Your story could help others," he said. It was surreal to consider that something so chaotic could become a cautionary tale. Rachel's friends, those who had enabled her, reached out apologetically. Some confessed that they had coached her on how to manipulate me, not realizing how far she would go. Others simply disappeared from her life, unable to reconcile with her behavior. Even the venues involved extended unexpected kindness. One offered me a free booking for a future event, acknowledging the trauma I had endured. And yet the most sobering lesson came in quiet reflection. The red flags had been there all along. The way Daniel introduced me as his future wife before I was ready. The casual pressure about marriage, the obsessive interest in hypothetical futures. I had ignored my intuition, telling myself it was just excitement or charm. Now, with hindsight, I understood. Boundaries matter. Trust is earned, not assumed. And if someone begins to plan your life without your consent, especially in the most personal, intimate ways, this is not love. I sat by my window one evening, the city lights reflecting on the glass, and whispered to myself, I survived. I was manipulated, humiliated, and tested, but I survived, and I will never ignore my boundaries again. In the end, the chaos Rachel created had a silver lining. It forced me to reclaim my life, protect my future, and, most importantly, trust my own instincts. I kept the screenshots, of course, for legal reasons, yes, but also as a reminder of resilience. One day, perhaps, I might even write a book about it. My ex faked our engagement, a cautionary tale. Dating is off the table for now. Trust, once shattered, takes time to rebuild. But I am okay. Stronger, wiser, and more cautious, but okay. As for Rachel, she is being held accountable. Therapy, legal repercussions, and limited freedom ensure that she cannot repeat this manipulation unchecked, for now. And me? I'm moving forward. A fresh apartment, supportive friends, and the knowledge that I survived one of the most surreal, humiliating, and manipulative experiences of my life. Looking back, I realize I did love Daniel, the person I thought he was. but that person never truly existed. What I loved was a fantasy, meticulously constructed by obsession and manipulation. And now I've reclaimed reality.